Hi there. I'm Ruben. Welcome to Holy Wiki. And in this video I will explain the timelines of Texas Chainsaw Massacre universe. We have seen so many sequels, reboots, and prequels from Texas Chainsaw Massacre universe. And new Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie is on its way as well. One thing that you should keep in mind that this video is only about timeline. I won't spoil any of these movies if you haven't watched them yet. Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a franchise because of which a slasher genre was made. If you are not aware of this franchise, then Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie's storyline mostly focuses on Texas, in which some young adults are being hunted down by a cannibalistic family. If you are a die-hard horror slasher fan, then I will definitely recommend this movie for you. And I will also talk about which Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie you should avoid, and which you should watch. So it will be ranking and quick review video as well. So without stretching intro too long, let's start. But before that I have a small request that please subscribe to my channel and ring the bell icon to stay notified for my latest videos. If you are not aware, then you should know that Texas Chainsaw Massacre universe have total 4 different timelines, so basically 4 different storylines. You can also watch it as an anthology, but like I said, I will explain which timelines you should focus on, and what Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies you should watch. First, let's talk about first timeline. Timeline 1 includes 5 movies. And the order of the movies in first timeline are: first comes Leatherface 2017 movie, which was actually the origin story of Leatherface. This movie was an outstanding or masterpiece. Because of some plot holes, being prequel to the 1974 movie, it only complicated the story of Leatherface. In this movie, Leatherface is shown as a handsome, intelligent, and very smart character. This movie shows a journey of Leatherface, of how he actually became Leatherface. I actually kind of like this movie as a standalone movie. Yes, you heard that right. If this wasn't a prequel of Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1974, I would have liked this movie. I will recommend you this movie only as an standalone movie, which unfortunately it's not. And that's only if you haven't anything to watch. Besides that, this movie is not that bad in my opinion. It was just okay movie to watch. If you are a die-hard slasher movies fan and you have nothing new to watch, only then watch Leatherface 2017. Second movie that comes in this timeline is the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1974 movie, which in my opinion, is not just an outstanding, but one of the best slasher movies ever made. And you should not miss this movie. This Texas Chainsaw Massacre is worth watching if you are a horror slasher fan. Third movie that comes in this timeline is Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, which is a direct sequel to the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1974, which continues the story of first part. Although there are some people who don't like this movie, but my personal opinion is that this was a good movie. This part was not made for everyone. That honestly includes me as well. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 wasn't outstanding, but it was entertaining movie for slasher fans. And to this day, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 have its own cult following, showing that how some people really like the second part. In this timeline, the fourth movie is Leatherface the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3, which is a movie that you can totally ignore. It's not a direct sequel. In fact, it acts like a standalone movie. This movie wasn't bad written or something. An only reason for this movie to be made bad was because of the deleted scenes. And when I said this movie could have been one of the best Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, then I said it could have been, only if so many scenes weren't cut from the movie, and also the original script of the movie was edited as well. I will totally recommend you not watch this movie. Like I said, this movie had good acting performance. Even the writing was very good. Only reason for its failure was editing of the original script and some awesome scenes that were cut from this movie. One thing is that Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 do not continue the story of part 2. Instead, it focuses on a different cannibalistic family in a same timeline, but different area. Long story short, it comes in a same timeline as the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1974, just follows a story of different cannibal family. And the final movie in this timeline is Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Next Generation. I am not going to go too deep into this terrible movie. Simple answer is just ignore this movie. The worst Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie ever made. Even the Leatherface in this movie was a joke. Actor of Leatherface in this movie gave his good performance, but the Leatherface character was written so badly, which is also one of the major reasons to ignore this movie. If you have nothing left to watch and this will be the last horror movie that has left to watch, still don't watch the Next Generation part, as it's just a time waste movie. Now let's talk about timeline, which includes only 2 movies, and personally this is my most favorite timeline. The must-watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies that no one should miss, that no horror slasher, and Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie lovers should miss. Those 2 movies are Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003 and Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Beginning. These 2 movies were a fresh reboot of the franchise. These 2 movies were loved by all fans. Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003 and The Beginning are still considered to be 2 of the best horror movie reboots ever made. These 2 movies showed fans what fans always wanted to see: the origin of the Leatherface. Leatherface in this movie is considered to be the most terrifying, scariest Leatherface ever. This modern-era reboot touch is breathtaking that takes you into a spine-chilling adventure of gore. Before the release of Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003, people were criticizing it a lot, but after its release same people were cheering in theaters while watching these movies, especially the 2003 part. And because of the success of Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2003, a prequel of the movie was made in 2006 named Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Beginning, which was a very good movie as well. It wasn't as good as its first part, but it was definitely a good movie. Timeline 2 is an only perfect timeline of Texas Chainsaw Massacre universe that received so much love. Even after a massive success, this timeline storyline was cancelled. Although because of the success of these reboots, lots of horror movies were set on a reboot, in which some reboots failed and some passed successfully. The point is you got an idea now how good and successful these 2 parts were. This is the best timeline of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre universe. Now I will quickly cover the rest of the 2 timelines, as I think I have explained most of the movies in these 2 timelines. Timeline 3 includes 3 movies. Those 3 movies are Leatherface 2017, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1974, and 2013 Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie, which was a bad movie. That movie is only known for its popular casting. That's it. Actors' performance and cinematography was the only plus point of the 2013 movie. I didn't like Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2013 overall, because it forcefully tried to make Leatherface a victim. And honestly, this movie also didn't even seem like Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. It was a revenge story of Leatherface, trying to show serial killer as a victim. Giving a big character change without good development of character was the major drawback of this movie. This timeline includes 3 movies like I said, and you can see all these 3 movies order. Final timeline of the movie will include. Yes, I said will include, as there's 1 movie yet to be released in this timeline. That movie is Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2021, which will be a direct sequel of 1974 movie, which is confirmed to be released later this year. And after the release of this 2021 movie, Timeline 4 will contain 2 movies. First Texas Chainsaw Massacre and second Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2021. So these were all the timelines of Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies that you should know. Now our question, which of these timeline you should watch? My personal advice is, must watch both the parts of Reboot franchise, and watch 1974 part. You can also watch Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2 as well, because it was a good part as well, and you will definitely enjoy it if you love watching classic horror slasher movies. And if you don't, like I have already explained, watching both of the Reboots parts are must for horror slasher fans. Now let's wait for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2021 movie, and be hopeful for that movie to be made great. Let's not stretch this video too long, as it is already too long, and let's end it here. But before that I have a small request that please subscribe to my channel and ring the bell icon to stay notified for my latest videos.